Speed, John Glenn.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground.
New possibilities are opening up for scientific cooperation between countries.
2, 1, 0, 0. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Discovery, roger. Go for deploy.
Thanks to you and to everybody in the shuttle program. The crew is go for launch.
Roger. Nice to be in orbit.
We have followed in their footsteps to get us where we are today.
Hello, everybody. Well, it's another great day in our space program. And if ever you've seen the evidence of this being an international program, you're seeing it today with this crew. This is of all crews, this is the most international that we've had. And I think shows the breadth of the cooperation around the globe. So let's get on with the launch, and let me bring up our Associate Administrator, Colonel Bob Cabana.
Thank you, sir. Hey, this is quick. It's always great to come back to Florida. You know, if you read the individual resumes of this crew, each one of them is outstanding. And when you put them all together, this is a pretty darn amazing crew. Everything's tracking well so far for launch. We're looking forward to the flight readiness review on Monday. All the issues are on track, and I'm waiting for next Friday. I want to see these guys off. You've heard me say it before. The only way I think it could be better if I could go with them, and then I think that would be even better yet. But no, it's a great crew. I don't know if you saw it, but the mobile launcher is back out on the pad for testing, and we're getting ready for Artemis 2 next year also, and everything's moving along on that, and that's going to be another amazing effort by NASA as we return to the moon. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Janet Petro, the KSC Center Director, and we'll hear a few words from her. Janet?
Yeah, good afternoon. It is another hot day here at Florida Spaceport, but we are super excited to welcome our 4 crew members here. This is our 7th operational mission to the International Space Station under the Commercial Crew Program. And even though we have a robust manifest here at the Kennedy Space Center, we are always super excited when we're going to stick a human on the rocket, and putting our crew is always ups a level of excitement. I want to thank everyone who behind the scenes have been working so hard and diligently towards this moment when we launch the crew this coming Friday. And now I want to introduce you to someone whose leadership has really been instrumental in the success of the Commercial Crew Program as we've returned humans to low Earth orbit from American soil. And so, serving as a deputy manager for our Commercial Crew Program here at the Kennedy Space Center, let me introduce you and join me in welcoming Dana Hutcherson.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here, and welcome to the crew who just arrived. It's hard to believe we're on our 7th rotational mission, 8th launch of sending astronauts to the International Space Station from U.S. soil. It's an honor to represent the Commercial Crew Program today to welcome this international crew. And I really appreciate the crew trusting us and the team to provide that safe and healthy transportation vehicle. Commercial Crew is delivering on its promise of providing safe, reliable, and cost-effective transportation to and from low Earth orbit. The crew will fly on Dragon Endurance spacecraft provided by SpaceX, and will spend about 6 months aboard the International Space Station conducting critical science and research experiments that will enhance our understanding of how space affects the human body, and will look to return to the moon and eventually travel to Mars. These successful partnerships with NASA and the commercial companies allows us to focus our research on exploration and research, expanding NASA's ability to explore our universe and inspire the world. Now I'd like to turn it over to Eric Vanderwall, who leads the International Space Station Program Houston office for the European Space Agency. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dana. My name is Eric Vanderwall. I'm the head of the European Space Agency Houston office. And it's really a great honor to be here to welcome this amazing crew. As Bob Cabana often said, it's good to be flying again. And this is very applicable to ESA this time. We flew on Crew 2, we flew on Crew 3, we flew on Crew 4, and here we are with Andy on Crew 7. It's so great to see Andy about to embark on his 2nd flight to the ISS, this time for a long duration stay, 6 months. Also, he will be the first European pilot on the Crew Dragon vehicle, and later we're going to see him in the role of the ISS commander on the space station. When I look at these astronauts, I do not only see a group of very committed, talented, gifted individuals, but I also see a fantastic picture that displays the multicultural endeavor and the incredible partnership that we have in the ISS. Doing science is key for the ESA ISS program, and we look forward to the extension of the science complement, or the execution of the science complement of the Huygens mission. There will be more than 30 European experiments, and this will contribute to the continuation of European science in low Earth orbit and help push the boundaries of human space exploration, not only in low Earth orbit, but also beyond. I want to thank the whole NASA team, all the SpaceX teams, all the teams at ESA who worked so hard to get us where we are today, and most importantly, ensure that we're flying safely. I want to read a quote from a former US president. It goes as follows. Mankind is drawn to the heavens for the same reasons we were once drawn into unknown lands and across the open sea. We choose to explore space because doing so improves our lives and lifts our national spirit. Let us continue this journey. George W. Bush. With that, I say Jasmin, Andy, Satoshi, and Konstantin, I wish you all a great journey. Go Crew-7, and Andy, go reizen. Thank you. And with this, I would like to hand over to Mr. Sakai, the JAXA ISS Program Manager.
Good afternoon. Thank you for introductions. My name is Sakai, Junichi, ISS Program Manager of JAXA. And first of all, on behalf of JAXA, I would like to sincerely express my appreciation to NASA, SpaceX, all the colleagues, and to participate in Crew-7 launch operations and launch preparation and continuous ISS operations. It is fourth year since crew transportation from U.S. soil has resumed. And JAXA also has sent to and will send the Japanese astronauts to ISS for 4 consecutive years. I believe this is a close and continuous partnership between international partners. Both has brought these remarkable opportunities to us. So this is first flight since Japanese government determined to extend the ISS operation beyond 2024. And this mission will be the second flight and the second long-term resistance in ISS for Japanese astronaut Furukawa Satoshi. He will work out he will work out variety of missions ranging from life, material, physical science to technological demonstration for future lunar exploration and post-ISS utilizations by utilizing a Kibo's unique environment to conduct various missions with in collaboration with astronauts from international partners. I'm confident that this progress won't stop and leads to our challenge to the Mars, moons, Mars, and beyond. So I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to coming this launch and for we'll continue for final preparations. So Godspeed, guys. See you 6 months later. Thank you.
And at this time, we will now open it up for the crew to offer some final remarks. In front of you, we have a multinational crew, Jasmin Moghbeli, NASA astronaut and Crew-7 commander, Andreas Mogensen, ESA astronaut and Crew-7 pilot, Satoshi Furukawa, JAXA astronaut and Crew-7 mission specialist, and Konstantin Borisov, Roscosmos cosmonaut and Crew-7 mission specialist. If the crew would like to step forward when you're ready to offer your remarks.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You can probably tell from the huge smiles on our faces that we're extremely excited to finally be here at Kennedy Space Center and for the journey we're about to embark on. One of the first tasks that we had to accomplish as a crew when we were assigned was to design our mission patch. We had to think about what do we want this patch to symbolize, what do we want it to represent, and what were the things about this mission that were really meaningful to us. So if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about just a few of the elements of the patch that I think are very special to us. First, if you look at our patch, the Earth is the central aspect of it. It is the focus of the patch. It's meant to be very beautiful. I'm sure it's not as beautiful as when we'll look back on Earth from the unique vantage point of low Earth orbit. But we wanted it to represent that everything we do on this mission, we hope ultimately benefits our beautiful home planet and those on it. Next, the tail of the dragon rises into a golden star. This to us symbolizes the ascent to the stars. Spaceflight is extremely difficult. It requires perseverance, it requires vigilance, and this was kind of our thank you to the pioneers of spaceflight who paved the way for us to be here today, and for all those on our team who've prepared us for this moment and will support us throughout the mission and upon our return. And then the last element I would love to point out, as others have mentioned, on the rise to the star are the colors white, red, and blue. Those colors encompass the colors that make up the flags of our 4 nations. We are extremely proud, and I know I personally am humbled to be a member of this incredible crew, where if you look at our 4 patches, you'll see a different nation's flag on each one. And we hope this represents what we can accomplish when we work together in unity and cooperate together. And we think this really is what the International Space Station is all about. And lastly, I'd again like to thank those that supported us, especially our families. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Andreas Mogensen, the pilot for Crew-7. And as stated, he'll be our commander on board the International Space Station.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to represent the European Space Agency as pilot of Crew-7, and it's an honor to be part of this very international crew. Not only are we an international crew, but our training and preparation have taken us around the world. And I'd like to thank all of our partner agencies, NASA, ESA, JAXA, and Roscosmos for preparing us so well and getting us to this point where we are today, ready to embark on a long-duration mission to the International Space Station. As soon as I landed in Soyuz in Kazakhstan after my first mission in 2015, I knew that I wanted to go back to space. I wanted to go back to the International Space Station, and I'm so happy that the day is almost here. It's hard to describe what an incredible place the International Space Station is. I didn't realize it until shortly before docking on my first mission, when I looked out the windows of the Soyuz spacecraft and I could see the gigantic solar arrays stretching out in space next to me. And then opening the hatch and flying on board the space station, I realized just what a unique and incredible laboratory that we, humanity, has built in low Earth orbit over the past 20-25 years. And I'm so excited to get back up there and to participate in the groundbreaking research and technology development that we do on board the space station. As Jasmin noted, what we do up there is for all of us here on Earth, and hopefully will benefit our society for many, many years in the future. And I can't wait to get up there, back up there, and to continue the incredible work that we do. Thank you.
Hello, I'm happy to be here at the launch and landing facility because it was formerly called Shuttle Landing Facility. And in my previous mission on the International Space Station in 2011, I was fortunate to welcome the last Space Shuttle crew members of STS-135. And this time, I look forward to flying Crew-7. And I am very excited to work in the outstanding international team of NASA, SpaceX, ESA, CSA, Roscosmos, and JAXA. And onboard the International Space Station, using the special, unique environment like long-lasting microgravity, I'd like to contribute to those that will make our life on Earth better. For example, accelerating new medicine development. In addition, I'm keen to work on technology demonstration towards the human exploration to the moon in the future. And I'd like to hand over to Kostya.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm more than excited, actually. It's so hard to say what I feel, because the training has been very intense. We traveled all the world. We enjoyed a lot of classes, lectures. And you know, every next day is training. You train again, you train again. And it's so hard to imagine that soon we'll just do similar things, but it will not be training, but just in 4 days in the evening we wake up and we go to space. I'm very excited, really. I'm excited. I'm honored to be part of the international crew so much, because it's the most international crew ever, because you cannot make it more, because 4 people, 4 nationalities. And you know, like experienced astronauts and cosmonauts, they say that when you go to the ISS and you look at the planet, you see that there are no borders. And really, I want to continue and to convey that feeling and that emotion, and also to support the cooperation which we have been having so far, and we continue like that. So I'm very thankful to all the agencies, to all the people on the ground making this happen, and also to our families and to the crew which I have been happily training so far. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And now we'll open it up to the media that are here with us for a brief Q&A. If you could come up to the mic and state your name and affiliation and to whom your question is directed. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for taking our questions today. My name is Richard Tribou. I'm with the Orlando Sentinel. This is really for the entire crew. You are going up and becoming part of Expedition 70, which is also going to be a bunch of rookies. I mean, Satoshi is the only long-term one, as well as the one person from the Soyuz. So my question to you is, have any of the rookies on this mission been given advice on what to look out for? And Satoshi, are you holding back on anything to see if they mess up so that you can tell them lightly how to correct that action? Thank you.
So what a lot of the veterans have told me, including some of my own crewmates, is it's been interesting going through training. You know, we do simple things like we have to fold a piece of cloth, and I think, okay, I'm going to fold this cloth. It's going to take me 2 minutes, but it turns out when you don't have gravity helping you, even simple things like that, or just how you position yourself, simple things like that will take experience to learn how to do them in space and take a lot of time. And also just on a larger level of just focusing on what you're doing every day, we have numerous things we're doing up there, from capturing the vehicles that are bringing us supplies and science experiments, to performing spacewalks, to performing science experiments on ourselves and on other things, and to just focus on what you're doing in the moment, and lastly, not forget to look out the window.
Well, from operations point of view, the whole crew members are well trained and professional. And microgravity is special and unique, but it's a kind of minor thing. You can catch it up with a good learning curve, so no problem at all. But my small advice was especially right after insertion, just move slowly. Don't move your head abruptly. That would make you in a bad situation.
My name is Ditte Lynge. I'm from the Danish newspaper Ekstrabladet, and I have a question for Andreas Mogensen. It's going to be in Danish. Du er den første ikke-amerikaner, der skal være ikke bare pilot, men også kommandør på en ISS-mission, en SpaceX-mission. Kan du ikke prøve at sætte på ord på, hvad det betyder, ikke bare for dig, men også for et land som Danmark at være repræsenteret?
Altså først og fremmest så er det jo en kæmpe ære at blive udnævnt som pilot på SpaceX Dragon-rumskibet. Og det er takket være de sidste 7 år, jeg har arbejdet på Johnson Space Center i Houston, Texas. Men det er også takket være det samarbejde, som ESA har etableret sammen med NASA gennem de sidste 20 år ombord på den internationale rumstation. Og det viser, hvordan vi i Europa er vokset med opgaven, er blevet dygtigere og dygtigere og har fået mere og mere ansvar. Og det ser vi især på de kommende månemissioner, Artemis-missionerne, hvor ESA udvikler og bygger det vi kalder The European Service Module, som er en del af Orion-rumskibet, der skal tage de næste mennesker til månen, og også nogle af de allervigtigste elementer eller moduler af Gateway-rumstationen, som vi skal bygge i kredsløb om månen. Så det betyder utrolig meget for mig personligt, men også for hele Europa og selvfølgelig også Danmark, at blive inkluderet på NASA's månemissioner på den måde, vi er. Vi kommer til at se europæiske astronauter på missioner til månen og også på overfladen af månen. Det synes jeg er sindssygt spændende, fordi det kan være med til at inspirere den næste generation af unge til at læse naturvidenskabelige og tekniske fag og forhåbentlig vælge karriere som forskere, ingeniører, teknikere og være med til at udvikle alle de løsninger, som skal forbedre vores samfund i fremtiden og løse mange af de udfordringer, vi står overfor.
Jeg kan forestille mig, at der er mange følelser, der går igennem dig lige nu. Og frygt måske også er en af dem. Er der noget, du især frygter kan komme til at gå galt, når I er afsted?
Altså risiko er jo en del af arbejdet, kan man sige. Og det er også meget det, vi har trænet med henblik på at kunne reagere ordentligt. Man kommer ikke udenom risikoen, men samtidig så er det en del af, altså når man vil videreudvikle og videre, så er der altid en risiko forbundet med det, og den kender vi alle sammen til. Men man kan sige, at første skridt på vejen, det er i dag, hvor vi er ankommet til Kennedy, og så den fortsætter så forhåbentlig fredag, hvis vejret tillader det.
Hi, Ken Kramer of Space Up Close. Congratulations on being the most international crew, and good luck with your flight. So I'm a scientist. I'd like to ask all of you, tell me about the most interesting 1 or 2 science experiments that you're going to be doing when you're up there, and if any of you will be doing spacewalks. Thank you.
One of the interesting experiments I'll be doing is a 3D metal print experiment that ESA is launching to the International Space Station. 3D metal print is a technology that can be a game changer in the future. On board the International Space Station, we receive a lot of cargo vehicles that contain reserve parts, spare parts, because things have a tendency to break down, to be worn out, and we spend a lot of time replacing and repairing items. When we travel further into space, as a first step to the moon, and later hopefully onwards to Mars, we need to be a lot more self-sufficient, and one of the ways we can do that is by being able to print spare parts or tools in space, and hopefully 3D metal print is a first step towards that.
We have two experiments which are really peculiar in the Russian segment. They're peculiar because either they are very interesting or they are very hard. The interesting experiment for me would be, the most interesting one is the quail eggs experiment. We are taking quail eggs and we see how they develop in zero G and also in gravity, because we have a special chamber which rotates and actually makes gravity. So you compare the development of the egg and we see, is it the radiation itself only, or is it the radiation plus the zero G which affect the development of the egg? That's very interesting to see the results. And the one which is hardest, I've spent so many hours doing that, would be ultrasound experiment, where me and my colleagues, we are doing ultrasound to each other. It's really hard because we have to catch the particular organ, and we do it many times. We do it after 3 days, after 7 days, after 2 months. We see how the liquid shifts long term, and we can evaluate how it develops and also see how we prepare ourselves for long-term flights.
One of the things we can do up there that I think is really interesting and exciting as someone who doesn't have a background as a scientist is when you look at cell cultures here on Earth, because we do have the effects of gravity. When you develop a cell culture, it's two-dimensional. But when you do that in the weightless environment of space, you can grow those cell cultures in a three-dimensional way, which is, of course, how our tissues are. So that's something I think is really interesting and has a lot of applications for medicine and science as well, and just incredible to think about who came up with that.
I look forward to a protein crystallization experiment. Under zero gravity in space, we can obtain better quality protein crystallization. After bringing it back to Earth and analyzing it, we can know the detailed 3D structure of the protein crystals. And a reaction site of a protein is like a keyhole. Imagine a keyhole. By knowing the detailed structure of the keyhole and using a computer system, you can efficiently and effectively find a key that best fits to the keyhole, which is a candidate for new medicine. So this is an example of accelerating new medicine development and will make our life on Earth better.
Hello, my name's John McGill from Wyandotte Connects, and this question is for Commander Moghbeli. Last time we talked was in Houston last year, and you were trying to decide whether it was going to be a yo-yo or a glider. Have you made a decision?
You know, I ended up bringing a different toy that is actually neither of those, but I don't want to reveal it because I've actually brought it as a gift for my crewmates, so I guess I'll have to reveal it in space.
Hi, I'm Melanie for ESA. This is a question for Andreas. If you could tell us a little bit about some of the special items that you might be bringing on board.
Well, I see you brought one of the items with you. Rasmus Klump, a Danish cartoon figure, is one of the items that I'm bringing. Rasmus Klump is characterized by being incredibly inquisitive and spends a lot of his time in the cartoons exploring the world on his ship with his friends. I have a lot of other cultural items with me as well on this mission, from Denmark, and the Faroe Islands and Greenland, sorry. And I will be revealing them step by step throughout the mission.
Thank you.
Hello there, I'm Greg Diesel-Walk with Earth Sky, and my question is for Satoshi. What's the biggest difference in your training with the Dragon versus your previous mission in the Soyuz?
Okay. To me, essentially the same, but the emphasis is more on the theory or how things work, the systems work when it comes to Soyuz. And regarding the Crew Dragon system, the emphasis is more on the operation side, and either works. Both are good.
Hi, I'm Mikio from NHK. My question is for Furukawa-san. So can you please answer in Japanese, please? And my question is in Japanese. So 古川さん、今回ようやくケネディスペースセンターに到着されましたけども、まず今どういう気持ちでいらっしゃるか、それから打ち上げまであと5日ほどありますが、その5日間どのようにして過ごされるか、それから先ほどもありましたように、今回4年連続で日本人宇宙飛行士がここから打ち上げられるということになりますけども、古川さんご自身が日本人宇宙飛行士として自分をどのように位置づけられていて、どのような役割を果たそうとされているか、お答えいただけますでしょうか。
Okay. Let me talk in Japanese because he asked in Japanese. まずこちらシャトルランディングファシリティに来られてとても光栄に思っています。先ほど冒頭の英語でもお話しさせていただきましたけども、最後のスペースシャトルクルーをお迎えしておりましたので、とても光栄に思います。で、打ち上げまでの5日間については、さまざまな最後の詰めの準備をしていきます。その中には打ち上げに向けた実際通りのリハーサルとかもあります。仲間と一緒にそういうのを進めていきます。で、私、日本人飛行士としてしっかり若田飛行士からバトンをもらったと思ってますので、しっかりそれをしっかり走って仕事をしてつないでいきたいと思います。
ありがとうございます。Thank you so much.
Hi, Will Robinson Smith with Spaceflight Now. My question is for Jasmin. You'll be joining your turtle crew or teammates on the station, Woody and Frank. What's it like continuing what Raja lovingly called the turtle takeover? And what advice did you get from your classmates that have flown and come back to Earth?
Yeah, so I think most people know by this point our turtle class, the group of astronaut candidates selected in 2017, is extremely close. I love Raja's turtle takeover, and I'm extremely excited to see Frank and Woody up there, and also while I'm up there to welcome Laurel and eventually Matt Dominic as well. We hope to continue the turtle takeover in space. They've passed on some of the words I've already said, but the big things are don't forget to be in the moment, don't forget to look out the window, and don't forget to just take things one step at a time. It's a incredible experience, but it is also a lot of hard work at the same time. And so they've just tried to prepare me for that, and also passed on some words about how to handle being away from my family for a long period of time as well. So I've appreciated that, and I'm very excited to see them on orbit and to greet the others as well. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mark Stone, Florida Media Now. I know that you've all worked extremely hard to get where you are, and for all of you, I think it's safe to say it's the fulfillment of a lifelong dream to go on a mission like this. Given that, from a personal standpoint, what is the one highlight of this whole thing for you? What's the pinnacle?
It is indeed a very big thing. It's hard to grasp with your mind. But for me, it's not one, it's two. It's flying in weightlessness for so long. Not for 20 seconds, not for a minute, but like for days and hours. Like go to bed in 0G, wake up and suddenly know that you are still in 0G and you float out. For me, that's the emotion. And also looking out and see our planet, the dark, like the night, the day, the sunsets. That's for me, it's not one thing, it's two things. That's how at least I imagine it right now.
Similar to Kostya, I think one of the biggest things I really look forward to is looking back at Earth. It's just such a unique way to look at it, and I don't know what the feelings will be, what the emotions will be when I do that, but from every single astronaut that's already experienced it, they said it has been something life-changing for them. And so I look forward to seeing it from that new perspective.
Since my two crewmates both mentioned looking down at the Earth, I'm going to make a plug for looking out at the universe, because that's one of the things that really struck me on my first flight, was sitting in cupola looking out at the night sky, out at the stars, when we were on the night side of the Earth. Because if you give your eyes a few seconds to adjust to the darkness and you turn off the lights in cupola and in node 3, you suddenly see billions and billions of stars. And it reminds you of how almost infinitely large our universe is, and what, in many ways, how insignificant we are in many ways, us and the Earth in the cosmos. And that, to me, is incredibly exciting, because when something is as large, almost infinitely large as the universe, it must mean that there are so many discoveries waiting for us in the future, and must mean that there are so many possibilities for us out there. It is hard to describe just how big it looks from the International Space Station, and that makes me excited for the future, because I think even though we've been exploring space for 50 or 60 years now, in many ways we've only just begun, and there are still so many exciting discoveries waiting for us.
For me, back to microgravity, because I believe my body remembers that microgravity mode. So hopefully my body gets accustomed to it quickly and work efficiently in our business trip to the International Space Station.
Thank you. I wish you all success and Godspeed.
Thank you. Manuel Masanti, exploracionespacial.news. A question for Jasmin. I know this happened before, but how does it feel to not only fly into space for the first time, but also being a commander?
You know, I view my role as commander, I get to work with these three incredible gentlemen. You know, Satoshi's already experienced a long-duration space flight. Andy has also already had a space flight. Kostya and I get to do this for the first time, which is, it's nice to have someone to share that experience and excitement with. But for me, it's just really an honor. I was so excited when I found out this crew would be 4 different nations, because as I said, that was something that really resonated with me personally. And I didn't know any of my crewmates very well before we were assigned together, but it's such a special bond you form and create, and you know, I'm honored to serve as the commander, especially for my first space flight.
Hi crew, my name is Astrid from Space Scout, and my question is, what portions of this expedition are you most excited for, and what is the most challenging?
Well, I think it's interesting. It's hard to say what will be the most challenging until we're up there. For me, this is the first time, so I don't know. But something I know I'm really looking forward to is hopefully getting to do a spacewalk during this expedition. That, for me, during training, has been one of the most challenging aspects, and something that made me feel really fulfilled when I started to finally figure out how to work with the suit and not fight it and to be efficient. So something I really look forward to and hope I get to do is go out on a spacewalk.
Thank you. Enjoy the ride.
Test, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And that's all the time we have for questions today from the media. As a reminder, launch for Crew-7 is currently targeted for 3:49 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, August 25th from Launch Complex 39A here at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Live NASA TV coverage will begin at 11:45 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, August 24th. Thank you, and go Crew-7.